The table full size and well lit despite surrounding darkness fades to the bright overhead lights. Huge painting of something covers the wall. There aren't many people milling about this corner of the club, and I can see Hanako becoming a little less tense as a result.
You know how to play?
Nope, but he probably does. Yep, I'm no expert, but yeah, I do. Honestly, I don't know how pool works. I kind of like... I mean, sure, you get the white ball, you pop all the elbows into the freaking holes and all that, but isn't there a certain order you gotta go by? Is there different rules and stuff? I have no idea because I've never actually played it. I mean, sure, in a video game format I have before, but that doesn't really count. I don't think anyway.
Then 8 ball.
Sure. Hanako gets a choke and 2 cues from a set of hooks against one of the walls. Well, I fetch the ball from the table's pockets and grab the rack from a shelf underneath. She patiently waits as I get the table set up. After slotting the final ball into the rack and doing some last adjustments, end up having to fight my perfectionist urges in getting the bottom row of balls exactly with the edges. The balls arranged and ready for play, I step back and take my cue from her outstretched arm. I carry out a quick inspection of the tip before I'm satisfied that it's in good condition. So you've played before?
Once or twice. I just kind of know the rules.
The air between us feels a little awkward. She's still very nervous, understandably given that we're in public. Eventually the silence becomes too much even for Hanako, and she begins to quietly stammer.
Pool break.
I think for a moment before reaching in my pocket and drawing a coin. I'll take heads, your tails. After a nod of agreement from Hanako, I flip the coin up in the air, catch it, and flip it over onto the back of my left hand. Looks like it's you that gets the break. Hanako nods again before taking up her position at the end of the table. She's not usually this quiet around me, but I'm not wholly sure if it's because of the tidbit of information about her past that slipped out moments ago. The cue comes back in a practice gesture before smacking dead into the center of the cue ball with a thud. The white ball skips across the smooth green, expands before smashing into the carefully arranged balls at the other end. Balls skitter across the table at high speed. The break was good, with the balls being nicely slid around the table. My eyes already flicking from one to another to pick out the easiest candidates to pocket. Hanako retreats from the side and I take my shot.
Well done!
It's only after Hanako says this that I realize the ball I was shooting at was sunk. I look at her and notice a small smile on her face. It's nice how playing games seems to loosen her up a bit. Well, little. Same thing. Guess I'm stripes then. I take a step back and let her take the next shot, but she doesn't advance to the table. Well, she looks down a little and rubs her arm. By now I can identify this as one of her gestures that means she wants to say something, but isn't sure enough of herself to do it. What's up?
It's just, you had a nice smile. Do you like playing this?
I sigh and lean back against the table. I like playing, yeah. I think I was smiling because it's really nostalgic, though. Hanako tilts her head quizzically. Me and my friends used to play pool in the game centers near where we lived pretty often, and at night too.
When your parents?
My parents both worked, so they didn't mind me not being in the house. Stayed on top of schoolwork pretty easily as well. There was plenty of time to do all the stuff at night. Our conversation dies down with Hanako's timid getting the better of her. In response, I get off the table and let her take her turn shooting. Confidence! Look at that confident look right there. There aren't many swords in easy positions, so Hanako bends down and takes a while to line herself up properly. Hanako's expression is the same as when we play chess, a relaxed but focused concentration. Athletes sometimes talk about getting into a zone where nothing unnecessary enters their mind. I wonder if that's something she can do. Her posture is good, better than mine to be sure. It's very close to a textbook method of playing, whereas I tend to comport myself into whatever position I feel is most natural for the shot I'm taking. I'd probably look awkward playing pool, honestly, because as I said, I've never properly played it. She lines up the cue. The cue comes back, and she does a couple of practice movements to make sure she's lined up correctly. Hanako takes games so seriously. It's the only real hobby I know she has, outside of reading. Feels good to be able to share this kind of experience with her. She takes a shot after careful consideration, and the cue ball zooms off towards the ball sitting at a slightly awkward angle near a corner. Hanako's careful preparation pays off as the cue ball hits and sends the ball rolling towards the corner pocket. For a moment it looks like it'll stop just on the lip of the hole, but eventually tilts just enough to drop in. Man, that was a hard shot. If you can pull that off, I don't think I have much hope.
Not that good.
It's not just a shot though, even when lined up you look really serious. I like this with chess too. The praise makes her a little flustered. She gets the cue against the table and stands, turning to me.
I just like these kind of things.
Her fingers are twisting and turning tightly.
When I was in the orphanage, I just kept doing the things I liked before. If I played with games with the others, that was enough for the helpers there, so...
I never thought about it that way. Staff at an orphanage would naturally want to have everyone socialize at least a little. So okay for me to ask, what was it like for you at the orphanage?
Why do you want to know?
I've touched a nerve, but the fact that she responded at all shows there's at least a chance she'll answer my question. Before, she likely would just have shrunk away from it without a word.
I'll tell you, but...
What?
Could you tell me who your Nako is?
Hanako? Oh, the letter. I wonder how long she's been waiting for the right opportunity to ask me this. I'm surprised, but don't hesitate. Sharing her information is naturally a matter of give and take. She's someone I used to like. Her nervousness subsided, at least for the time it took to ask. Her curiosity is getting the better of her. I feel a bit uncomfortable to be questioned on this, of all matters. There's no way I could spill out all my feelings about Hanako here. I don't even know myself what my feelings regarding her are. Even after talking to Yuko earlier, I want to avoid the subject around Hanako. Hanako doesn't look overly satisfied with the awkward ending to the discussion, but things better of continuing it. She was only just managing to ask me in the first place, without knowing that I wouldn't want to talk about it. I moved to finally make my own shots. The lack of talking between us is filled by the chatter of other veterans and the band at the other end of the clock. Wow, wow, wow. Find a shot that doesn't look too difficult, I try and shoot for it. The cue ball taps the ball and the trajectory is about right, but I put in too much power. It grazes the corner of the hole and moves off to the side, just skirting the pocket. So I just realized, isn't this what he mentioned with the painting of something and I have no idea what it is? Because if so, what the fuck is that? Heck, even if that isn't what he's talking about, what the heck is that? I grit my teeth a little. I was pretty good at this game. It's frustrating to derate it so much. I step back and let Hanako take her turn, glancing towards the counter where Lilly and Hanako are sitting, talking busily between themselves and seem to be having a good time. I turn back to Hanako as she takes her shots. With the same face as before, she lines herself up and sharply pushes the cue. Just as before, she sinks the ball she was aiming for. It drops into the side pocket more cleanly than her last. Though, it looks as if she is getting a bit more into the groove of the game. Nicely done. She hesitates for a moment and begins to address me without turning her head.
The orphanage was nice. It felt a bit like Yamaku does. The staff was really kind. But as the years went on, I realized something. It was different. It feels strange to hear her speak so candidly about herself. She's audibly forcing the words out. It reminds me of when she insisted she tell me about the fire. Hanako must feel that she has to tell me of such things if I'm willing to tell her about my own past. Her grip on the cue tightens as she continues to speak. Most of the children there were up for adoption just like I was, but unlike me, they gradually left one by one. By the time I went to Yamaku, I was among the oldest children there. For a while I helped with some of the younger children, but eventually...
I lay a hand on her shoulder. She's forcing herself by now. It's okay. She looks mildly surprised for a moment, but then nods before setting down her cue and turning towards me.
Do you really think so?
Yeah, I think so. Even while Lily's away, I'll be around to protect you, right? Hanako looks at me for a long time and I'm taken a bit off guard. Her expression hasn't changed from before, still looking somewhat... maudlin? Whatever, and silence between us, silences between us aren't unusual. I think it's the fact that she's holding such prolonged eye contact that makes this feel a bit odd. It feels as if she's judging me. It's a very strange, vaguely uncomfortable feeling. Hanako?
I understand. Thank you.
She smiles and looks away a little, but it feels stilted. Hanako isn't very good at faking emotions, and this is no exception. I move to the table and take my turn to try and distract myself. It doesn't seem to work. Does she think I'm not up to the task of helping her? Is she disappointed in me? I probably overthink this. While her silence is just an accepted fact of life by now, sometimes I do wish she'd speak more. With a thud, I send the white sphere inning down the table into my target. Hanako sees what's happening just as I do. The ball hits hard with the striped ball I'd intended to sink, veering off towards the 8 ball. Sure enough, as both Hanako and I look on and bite our lips, they connect and the black ball rolls leisurely into our corner pockets. All I can do is sigh. Looks like Hanako is smiling again though, so maybe it wasn't for nose. That was an awful shot. You win. Seems I'm getting pretty rusty after all this time. So, from that, I'm guessing the purpose of 8 ball is to sink all the other balls except for the 8 ball, and whoever sinks the 8 ball loses. So what happens is, like, if you sunk all the other balls and the 8 ball is still there, do you have to deliberately hit it, and whoever ends up being the one to hit it into one of the corners loses? Is that how it works? I have no idea. Hanako bends down and begins to shoot the remaining balls into the closest pockets. I almost ask if we could play another game, but a quick check of my watch confirms that the night is getting pretty late. Wait, so the game continues even after that? Or is it just like sinking the 8 ball really screws up your score or something? I don't know what scoring even works as. Lilly and Akira appear to be still drinking at the counter. Seems like we'll have to drag them away.
This how?
I turn back to Hanako, who's still looking over the pool table, shooting balls. Her voice sounds different from before.
I'm here for you as well.
I suddenly find myself blushing. It's only natural that she respond this way, given what I said earlier, but it's still a shock to actually hear it. Just what is my relationship with this girl? I want to protect her, to make her happy. I'm not really sure what it is. Sure that it's something like love, but I don't think these are the same kind of feelings I have for Lilly either. I feel sorry for her having gone through so much in her life. Her parents died in a house fire and she lived in an orphanage for much of her childhood. I can't even imagine that kind of life. But I feel like there's so little I can do for her, especially now that Lilly is going to be leaving the country. Hanako and I finished tidying up the pool table technically, and cues and pick up Lilly and Akira on our way out of the club. Feels like something changed between Hanako and me. I can't quite place what it is, but Hanako is acting differently now. I feel like we're further apart, if anything. So, you enjoy yourselves? Hanako and I both nod and agree. The game was good, and we both did learn more about each other, so it's an honest answer. Lilly appears to be a little distracted. Worried about the trip, Lilly? She paused before sighing and smiling weakly.
A little, it means quite a bit.
The comment turns her a clap on the shoulder from her sister. Hanako smiles back too.
You'll be okay, Lilly. I hope you can enjoy your time over there. Thank you, Hanako. I'll try to. It'll be nice to get back with my family. After all, no matter for how brief the time it may be.
With that, the 4 of us begin to walk to the car park, where Akira's car is. We continue to talk between ourselves, but it's mostly just small talk.
You know, I'm remembering there's one scene where Iwanako and Shizune actually, there's a bit of a spoiler for whenever it eventually comes up, but I think it's Shizune's route and not Hanako's route, but they actually have a game of chess with each other.
I don't know why I'm bringing it up random like that, but it's just like, it's been bugging me. Because now I've been thinking, that's probably in Shizune's route, because I've only played briefly through her route, and I didn't go through the whole thing, but I remember a scene like that. So, spoiled it. Right then, are you taking the bus, Lily? Lily motions to a large suitcase standing beside her. I'll have to take this with me, so I booked a taxi. I'll meet up at the school gates in about 5 minutes. Not I see. Lily reaches down and feels at the handle of her suitcase. Its weight caused her some difficulty, so I quickly offer to take it myself. That's awfully kind of you, Hisao. She has no qualms about accepting, and I end up picking it up. It's not what I'd call light, but it's not exactly heavy either. I don't think I'll have too much trouble carrying it. Well, thank you then. We should hurry though. If the taxi leaves, then it will take quite a while to book a new one. Are you ready, Hanako? Yeah, let's go. We rush to the gate as fast as we can, only to find that the taxi is yet to arrive. Well, nothing like a bit of exercise in the morning. The nurse told me that I should be doing that. I think you probably had other things in mind, Hisao, and probably with more regularity. Do you intend to be helping people with their luggage every day? I guess not. Looks like we've got a bit to wait anyway. How long should we wait for the taxi before calling them again? I would say an hour or 10 minutes, but they never let me down before. There's probably just a little traffic. Okay then. So how long is the flight to Scotland? About 16 hours, if I remember correctly. It's a bit hard to tell with the changing time zones. 16 hours! Holy shit! I mean, wow. My brother flew to Orlando a while back and came back, and the flight I think was 9 hours or something like that. And 16 hours! Bloody hell, this just wow. How much distance would that be compared? Quite a lot. 16 hours on a plane! Oh, it sounds like the most boring. I've only ever been on planes for an hour. 16 hours though, my god. You get through freaking a book or two freaking through that. And not small ones either, probably. So long. It's now that I realize Hanako's being unusually quiet. Even for her, she doesn't handle stress well, so she's looking really uptight. Yeah, I can't imagine being on a plane for that long. I've only ever flown for a short family holiday up north, so it really is quite hard to fathom. If Hanako spent so much of her childhood at an orphanage, she's probably traveled very little, let alone flown. It's not too bad. I'll spend most of it either asleep or catching up on my English. I hardly use that here, so I need to re-familiarize myself with it a little. Will your accent be a problem? I wouldn't worry about that too much. It may be an issue initially, but I should be fine once I get used to it. You know, with that, it's what about speaking in Japanese? I mean, if it's not your, first language, you don't live in Japan or anything like that. Like me, I'm not Japanese. I only know a bit of Japanese. Would my accent have an effect on how it sounds to someone who is, born in Japan and knows Japanese as a first language? Would it sound odd? I have no idea, because I can't make any comparison there. We all moved to sit down on a small bench beside the school gate in silence. Strangely enough, even though I know that Lily is going away, I can't think of anything to say to her. Lily is a reliable person, so it might be because she isn't the one that I'm thinking of most. Lily might not be able to see it, but Hanako's chewing her fingernails nervously. I move to talk to her, but can hear an engine straining up the hill before I get a chance. I think the taxi's on its way. Well spotted, Hisao. I only just heard it as well. A small wave of pride washes over me. To have noticed something at the same time as Lily must mean that I have become more aware of my surroundings. Anyway, we won't have to call the taxi company and not worry about missing Lily's train. Once the taxi stops where we're standing, the driver rolls down a window and leans over. After confirming that yes, Lily is the same Lily setter that booked the trip, we sort out our luggage. the luggage or whatever. The driver opens the trunk of the taxi and takes Lily's suitcase, with Lily climbing into the back seat as he loads it into the trunk and slams it shut. After getting back into her seat and shutting the doors, he waits for us to say our farewells.
Have a safe trip, Lily.
Take care of yourself. Hanako looks understandably downcast, and that much is obvious even in her voice.
Of course I will. I'll be back before long. Don't worry. There will still be another person here for you too, won't there, Hisao?
Yeah, of course. I turn and smile to Hanako and put my hand on her shoulder. She only manages to keep eye contact with me for a couple of seconds, her cheeks red all the while, before turning back to Lily. See you, Lily.
Goodbye.
Lily gives her farewells to the both of us with a fair measure of reluctance. Without further ado, the driver starts the engine once more and they begin their journey down the hill and towards the airport. The two of us stand at the gates for a long time, even after they've disappeared from sight, not really knowing what to do. So, what do you want to do?
I don't know.
Wait. Walk through!
Ah, man, this is gonna suck balls.
Save. Okay, so, this is apparently the last choice of Act 3. And if you say, how about we call it a day, this will, lead to the bad ending and neutral ending, depending on choice you make in Act 4. And saying, do you want to go into the city, will lead you more on the good path of the normal good ending and all that. But, of course, neutral bad endings come first. And I'm dreading them, because I've never seen them, and I don't really particularly want to. But damn it, we have to here. Well, don't have to. It's not like it's compulsory, but it feels like it is. I don't know about you, but I think I'm going to try and take a nap. My head is killing me. Judging by Hanako's instant relief, I can only assume that I've guessed right. I don't think she wants to be out and about. Wordlessly, she turns and heads back through the school gate. We walk all the way back to the dorms together, stopping awkwardly at the spot where we need to part.
Well then, goodbye.
You want to have some tea or something later? How about a game? Hanako shakes her head embarrassedly.
I'm tired. Maybe tomorrow. I've got homework.
I suppose she would have a bit of homework to catch up on. She's missed a few days of lessons after all. Homework. Thanks for reminding me. I've got a stack to do as well. I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
See you, Hisao.
Before I can say goodbye, Hanako has turned and begun walking towards the entrance to the female dormitory building. I look at the door she disappears through for a bit, before going off towards my own dorms. Tomorrow will be a better day. Scars, Act 4.
Yo, does stitches count as scars?
I don't think so. Because if so, it's just scars, right? I mean, my left hand, I've got a missing finger on it. I've mentioned this a number of times. But I've also got a finger that I've also mentioned a couple of times before. That when I was way younger, to the point where I can't even remember that time, it would bend all the way. And I had an operation on it. And it still got the scar stitch or whatever on it. So does that count? I don't know. There's also I've got a slight scar around the chest, where freaking years ago when me and my brother would fight, use weapons and shit like that, and it got scarred because I can't remember where it was, but it left a little bit of scar, but it's very little and barely noticeable though. It's just that's my physical scars there, I suppose. I woke up, took my pills, had a nice shower, quickly slipped on my uniform, ate a tasty breakfast, grabbed my bag and headed off, all as per my usual daily routine. It was only after arriving in class that the normality of the day was thrown off. After taking my seat, I watched my classmates trickle into the room over the next hour, until every empty seat was eventually taken, other than Hanako's.